Hello, you, and welcome to Positive Chaos Podcast.
One, two, three, let's go!
In the last episode, we talked about Nico's wild travel stories, like why he had to sleep in a car and what he actually saw in a river in India. There's more. In this episode, Nico shares his top recommendations for a first solo trip, plus the story of how he got stuck at the airport in Krakow, how he spent his time there, and the most important thing every traveler needs to know. Stay tuned because there is a lot to unpack in this episode. What would you recommend?
I think the most important thing is, and first of all, understanding what you want for yourself. Because it doesn't really work if you're at a place you don't like, you don't feel comfortable, etc. And I think the most important thing is, first of all, finding out how can I do something, as we said before, what is interesting to me, what country interests me, what culture, what is it that I might enjoy about solo traveling, and how can I get that into also in my daily life, which is also of course a big topic for itself. But I think it's very, very interesting, like understanding what is that people feel like they need to isolate themselves more. I think it's very interesting that you said you just didn't want, or that you didn't speak anyone for 3 days, and I wonder what is the core thing which made you that, and also more interestingly, what is that which got you out of there, because this is what we want, right? And for me, the first day I arrived at the hostel in Tenerife, and it's a lot in my solo travels that sometimes I just enjoy the place so much that I don't even want to talk to anyone. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just enjoying the sun the whole day, and people would come and go, and I'm just sitting there and it's so nice.
Let me just enjoy this.
Yes. And I think this is finding out with that which is interesting to you, and moving towards that, and also understanding for yourself that you are at that place already, that you can enjoy that which you are and what you do in that moment. And this is what gives you this peace, this also the energy to do new things, not again saying, oh, I need to do this and this and this, but how can I
explore more and
get
more experiences?
Yes. And do it now,
Yes.
And I think this is the most important thing. But hostel experience in itself is very, very different to other things, and I can really recommend, if you're, probably most people listening are from Europe, but there are so many incredible big cities in Europe which are worth exploring. In the beginning of the year, I went to London. It was also a very, very nice experience. I mostly combine it with photography. I always have a photo aperture with me, and I combined with that which you said, like meeting new people, but also capturing this which is lovely about them, and sharing that with other people again. And this is something which interests me, and this is something which gets me going, gets me do things, explore things, and it's a very personal thing. And even we two talking, we might inspire someone, but the spark has to come from yourself.
Yes,
right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Do you think there is a difference between female solo traveling and male solo traveling, and what is it, if there is any difference?
I think that's a very great and very important question to address, because I think most men don't really think about that. They just say, I'm going there, and if in the city I'm in, they're not violent crimes all the day, probably most men wouldn't really care about anything. While as a woman, you really have to take care sometimes where are you, where do you go, and what do you do, and are the people I'm with, is it safe with them? Can I trust them fully if in case something happens? And I think it's there's probably some difference. I've met a girl who decided to solo travel through India, and she really wanted to do it. She had that interest to find out about it, and she didn't really have big problems as far as I know. So, but also she did it for like a long time, like for a few months, and she returned, nothing happened. But also I met other girls in Albania, for example, where like there was some guy exposing himself and running after them, and but it's also not country dependent so much. There are crazy people everywhere. Let's say it as it is. Yeah, but I think it's very, very important as a woman to be aware of sometimes who am I talking to, what is my surroundings, am I safe? Well, I think adventure, having the sense of adventure, is the most important thing in what you do in solo traveling in general. It shouldn't be like that you should feel fear in that for an unsafe city or something. I recently saw some videos of like some parts of Los Angeles, for example, and it's so unsafe.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
And one thing I really learned, that women have a very great sense of what is good and what is not good for them, and I think they have a stronger sense than men. And I think, and what I know is that they should really trust themselves with that feeling, that gut feeling, if something is right or wrong, and if something is wrong, turn around and go. Initial feeling that you have. And
that's very true, because I always trust myself on my feelings. When I'm not feeling like it, like do something or go somewhere where I'm not feeling that comfortable, I'm not going there. I'm just listening my instincts and focusing on this, because a lot of times I think I save myself in front of like something could happen like really bad, but because of my instinct that I really didn't want to be there or go in that place, I just told that person like I'm not really into those kind of things, so let me just be with myself then do this kind of things.
yes,
Yeah.
combined with that which you said, I think also a very important thing to probably learn, as well as a woman, as a man, to really express if you don't like something, like really express, to say no.
Exactly. It's
I think
really
that's
important to say
most important thing
yes,
in all of
say
that.
no, and not feel sorry for saying no, because you just focusing on yourself. You are
Yes.
there alone. You have to be careful about yourself,
Yes.
because you don't have anyone who is behind you, who is like with you there, and who can save you. You really have to
Yes.
trust yourself and your instincts.
Yes. Also being very aware that of that which you do not want. Around in a city you don't know in the evening, just know what you don't want. Also, just send it out with that, with how you act and do. And I think most people would just go away. I think there's a very interesting study which they did, where they were like asking like criminals who really did bad stuff like murders and rapes, and they asked, how do you choose your victim? You know, and that which came out is that these people mostly get drawn to people who look insecure. And I thought when I read that, it was mind blowing. I thought, crazy. So people, they especially choose people or rob people that they feel this person cannot defend himself, cannot stand for himself, or it's an easy victim, you know. And that's so crazy. you know,
That's
that how
true.
much power you have with that which you send
Acting.
out, you know. And of course, in very rare cases, it's different, you know. But yeah, it's a fact. Most people, most of these criminals say this person looks like he doesn't know what he wants in life. He does not have, or she does not have certain direction he or she is going.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna rob that person, for example. And on the other side, when they see someone who knows what they're doing, and they say, okay, this person is very straightforward with where he wants to go, it's like, oh, this would probably be dangerous for me to interact with that person. So I think this is a very probably the most important take of everything we talk about, just sending that out,
Yeah.
feeling safe and knowing exactly where you do, not pretending to know what you do, but no, this is where I'm gonna go, this is what I'm going, this is where I'm going. And then I think you're a lot safer than before.
How has traveling alone changed you as a person?
I'm still finding out how much, or if it changes me at all. I think in my car, I'm still the same person. In my job, I really enjoy um, like going somewhere and bringing that experience back to the classroom. I think that's a very, very important thing. I think the big conflict people go through is if they're like really used to that living in your room your whole life, and suddenly going solo traveling, is that you meet a very different part of yourself. I think at the beginning, people are still, most people don't really know what to do with that, you know. And I think for some people it will bring a lot of conflict into their daily life, because they see the comparison of this old everyday locked in the room person compared to this outgoing, loving, getting along with everybody person, and you're like, how do they get along?
Yes.
That other part of you while traveling, it is already there in some sense. And I think the more interesting question is, how can, now that you see that you understand that and maybe develop interest for that, how can you bring that into your daily life? How can you bring that over there? And so that there's no longer this part of me and this part of me, but it's the same thing. And I think this is the most interesting question to ask, to find out that. And yeah, of course, you learn to trust yourself more, you know, to understand also what you're capable of doing. You're also more capable of understanding what you want, more importantly, what you do not want.
And say it aloud, and also how you can trust other people and how you can be respectful to them. And if we are feeling like meeting with other people, you choosing with you want to be with, and spend the time in the place where you are staying. Not everybody are the people who you want to be with, and you find out really quickly, because a lot of people are like showing themselves, like truly themselves, because why would they act like somebody else? Getting know those more people during the solo traveling open the doors for you explore more than just by yourself. When you meet someone,
Yes.
for example, like us, with Ludi and you had a car. I remember we went on the rooftop and Ludi said he had the car. He's the guy with the car, so we can go with him. And I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's go somewhere. So if I wouldn't know you, I wouldn't do exploring the park, the main park there, because it's too dangerous for myself, and I wouldn't go there by myself. So thank you for this experience. So
Sure.
yeah, it was really beautiful. It was really fun in the same time, because we didn't expect that it's gonna be that sucks weather as it was. Because in Tenerife and Puerto there was beautiful, warm and sunny days, and then we got to the mountains and it was just fog and cold. But we enjoy it anyway.
Yes.
So Yeah.
I think you said a very important thing that this is also the thing probably what people love about solo traveling is that they learn more about themselves, but you can only learn more about yourselves with others, by others, in communication with others, talking to others, finding out more about you and me and all the people who
Mm-hmm.
are involved in that. And this is the thing where you really learn, where you really change, where you really um, understand yourself more, and also um, see that some things are not as bad as you think about yourself. And there are people who are accepting you for
Mm-hmm.
things which
Mm-hmm.
where you judged yourself so much for, and they were like, "Oh, okay,
And
cool."
then you realize it's not that bad,
Yes,
actually.
except you bring it to the point. It's not
Yes.
that bad. And there's also this interesting question, like for people, why do why do why am I getting along so good with people? And I think the most interesting thing is finding out that you are yourself actually a lovable person. You know that you're that people
Mm-hmm.
might really like you for what you are or what you do. And I think this is the craziest thing
Yes.
to really feel in your heart, not just knowing like, oh, okay,
I'm doing good, but
I'm doing
now
good.
you realize the people are really likes me.
Yes,
Like what is
exactly.
happening?
People enjoy spending time with you. People,
Yes.
I sent you this video when we right after we departed in Tenerife, of this guy who said in this video, people really enjoy when you show up, really appreciate you being there.
Mm-hmm.
There are people really like spending time with you, and really feeling that, and um, also feeling the responsible also for these people, and wanting to thank them in
Mm-hmm.
some ways
Mm-hmm.
that they
Mm-hmm.
open that in you. And this is the most important thing, finding out who you are or who we are together, and digging deep and putting all that old stuff aside, and yeah, finding out what is waiting underneath.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's really nice. Just realizing this and say it aloud. How many country you've been? Which country did you visit already?
So I really started traveling more seriously, I think at the beginning of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I had this one solo travel to India, but it was after that I didn't really have the desire to travel for another year
I'm
because
just
there's so
wondering
much
why.
stuff happening. Yeah,
When was it? You said 5 years ago?
it was I know it was in December, and it was 2 or 3 years. I don't know
Okay,
exactly,
okay.
but the most important things, the places I really enjoyed traveling to, especially as a German who is very used to concrete blocks and foggy weather and cold. I think one of the places I really enjoyed the most was Thailand.
Mm,
I enjoyed it so much that last year I even flew there 2 times. The first time I was there for 2 weeks, and I just loved it so much that in my summer vacation I was there for almost 4 weeks completely. And it's a very very nice place. It's very very cheap. You need some money, of course, to fly there. That's the most expensive thing.
mm-hmm.
But when you're there, it's just you can eat food for like 1 or 2 euros. The hostels I slept in were like 4 or 5 euros a night, and they were good. And the Thai people are all very very calm and very very relaxed, and they really care about the tourists, want them to have a good time, a good experience.
And I'm just wondering, do you think it's safe for also like a female solo travel to go to Thailand? Is it
Yes, I think in Thailand I met a lot of female solo travelers actually.
okay?
Yes, I think Thai people are very relaxed in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think Thailand I can recommend as a woman or as a
Mm-hmm.
female traveler. It's a lot safer. Mostly maybe because there's also a lot of prostitution, so the men are maybe a little
Okay.
calmer.
Do you have any experience?
I heard from
Just
a friend.
heard, yes. Not personal experiences. You said.
No, yeah.
Okay, I see.
No. But yeah, the men are very, very nice, and yeah, I met a lot of female solo travelers who
Interesting.
work there, volunteer there in
Mhm.
hostels,
Mm-hmm.
and they are all very, very happy. They all love Thailand, and
Yeah.
it's a cool,
Everybody-
paradisic place.
Yeah, everybody who was in Thailand says the same things. Like it's so beautiful, it's so worth the visit, and there is a lot of things to see. So many nice people and so friendly. So,
Yes.
but I wasn't that sure if it's that safe. You know,
Oh,
like
okay.
for female solo travel. So
I think there are like some places, I think especially in the very south of Thailand, where there are like riots or something.
Mhm.
But you can like look at like news, or our government has like a website for all the countries and how safe they are to travel
Wow.
as a person. So you can always like take a look there, what is important, and it's very, very useful.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's always like very recent. What documents you need, if you need a visa, it's
Wow.
like everything in one place.
I
And it's
didn't know
always
about
like
this.
refreshed. It's very
Wow.
nice. I
didn't know.
can recommend that.
Yeah.
Of course, there are like some cities maybe which are not so nice for women. When I arrived there the very first time, I met this German guy, and he said, "Oh, you have to go to this city," and I was like, "Okay, I'm just trusting whatever it was." And then the city, which is called Pattaya, is like the prostitution city of Thailand. So I felt a little bit out of place. Yeah, also I wouldn't go there as a woman probably. Yeah, but then I went just to a completely different place, and there are nice spaces where there's not much happening. Yeah. But I can also like do a recommendation because Thailand, of course, is another place which is very, very far away,
Yes.
and most people can maybe not really afford it. I think like Switzerland and South Germany are like very, very beautiful. I can really recommend them. Also, having like seen a lot of countries, Turkey and Albania and Iceland and Spain, and I still think like South Germany or like the Alps in general are very, very worth visiting. They're so nice all around the year. Especially nice, of course, in winter if you like want to try skiing or snowboarding, or summer where everything is just green and flourishing, and no matter where you are, you just see little big mountains with beautiful view. And I can really recommend that one, which is not too far away. And
it also depends where the people are.
Yes, of course, but like the Alps are more like in the central of Europe.
Yeah,
this is why I'm saying
that's true.
It's not too
That's
far
true.
away, and you can definitely have a very good time there.
I should check it as well because I've never been there, so I could maybe do this. Have you ever felt truly lonely while traveling? How do you handle it?
That's such a good question.
That's such a good question. I know. That's why I'm asking.
I felt so in the first part of my Thailand travels, because I was sleeping in hostels, but I didn't really connect to the people there so much for some time. Even at different hostels, there were just some nice people I talked to, but there was no one I really felt connected with. So I just said okay, and but then I started realizing, oh cool, I'm all by myself. I have no dependency right now. I can really do the things I really want to do, and that was a very cool moment for me. Just wondering where am I right now? I just go on Google, and Also, a cool travel tip, by the way. Um, just wherever you are, I just Google like most beautiful places there and there, and then just mark them all on my
Mm-hmm.
map. Like my Google map is just completely marked with random places, and it's very very nice. I think it's a very serious thing, you know, if
Mm-hmm.
you're traveling alone. Um, like this switch from traveling solo to traveling lonely can be very subtle, but it can happen. Let's say like the danger is like then being with other people, you start to grab them
Mm-hmm.
if you're lonely. It's like there's a part of you saying you have to spend time with me, and this is also something which brings people more away if they feel like you're taking that time,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I think people tend to do that when they feel more lonely. They tend to say things or do things where you feel, oh, that person just wants someone to cling to, you know. And this is of course not an evil or a bad thing, but it's very important to understand what is that makes one feel lonely. Understanding yourself. What is why do you or why do you feel lonely? What is that? What you're missing right now? Is it that you need simply someone to talk to? Do you need someone who's like comforting you,
Mm-hmm.
or do you need a hug?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, or do you just look for like depth in conversation? And I think that's the first thing to find out. What is your desire with that? And when you see that which is your desire, you know more what is the right thing to do afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when I was in Thailand, I was like traveling, and didn't meet many people, but I still had a good time. And then finally, um, I went to again. I flew to the other part of the country, to a city I didn't really know. Over there, I just spent 3 days at that hostel. Well, in these 3 days, I met the most incredible friend group I have ever met. Like these 3 days were like so intense. Like everybody were there. I was getting along so well with I like every single one of them. You know, I'm still in contact with most of them, and it's so I'm so grateful for this, and these 3 days of really close communication, doing everything together, made everything up. You know, and I would say these 3 days were probably the highlight of my 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it is so nice, as we said, to talk, to share, to find out what do I do, how um, who's the other person, how can I like tickle the heart of the other
Mm-hmm.
person out, and um, yeah, I think it's an important thing to be gentle
Mm-hmm.
and patient, and the right people will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm really learning. And when I was in Tenerife the first day, as I said, I didn't really have the desire to talk to anyone, because I was like, oh, it's so nice to be here. And there were so many cool people. I thought in my mind, oh, they're so nice, but I don't need to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just enjoying that they're there and I'm here, and this is enough for me. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel lonely at all. Just being with them, not wanting anything from them, not taking anything from them, but just giving them if I had the chance to. And from that space, from this peace, from this accepting how you are, how other people are, from this like real connection
Mm-hmm.
arises.
Mm-hmm. It's really important to just can be with yourself and enjoy the time when you're with yourself alone. Because when you feel comfortable just with yourself, you really actually don't need anyone to talk with or just spend time with, because you're fine with yourself. That was I realized this. It was probably for the first time when I actually realized that when I love to spend the time with myself. It was the first 3 days in Mallorca. I really wanted to be just with myself. I didn't really want to, I don't know, be in touch or talk with someone.
Yes.
I was just enjoying everything. I was just so proud of myself that I made it with myself and for myself. It was such a strong feeling, and just just imagine and realizing that this happened, it brings me back in that feeling. And I'm so excited and so proud of everything what I've been through. And it wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. I really enjoy everything what I've been through. I am so grateful for everything, seriously. So even that you are not spending the time with anyone, you can be really okay with yourself
Yes,
and enjoy the nature, the place where you are,
exactly.
and be proud of yourself that you made it by yourself and you get there on this city, on this country. Uh, yeah, that's I think it's really important things. In the end, let's talk about the best memories.
I think a lot of times bad situations can always turn out good depending on what you make with them. I mentioned Albania before. I wanted to actually, instead of Albania, I wanted to go to India for the second time, but I get like into a few flights, and then I was in Warsaw, so in Poland. And in Poland, they told me, with this visa, you cannot go, unfortunately. So I was like stuck in Warsaw airport for a few days, and
How many days?
I think three
Okay.
days, 3 or 4 days, and with one hostel day. Let's be honest here. 3 days were in the airport. I promise. Believe me.
Okay.
But first of all, I was very frustrated. But afterwards, I, I really enjoyed the time there. Actually, had like a nice bench to sleep on.
This is probably the difference between female solo traveling and male
Yes.
solo. You can sleep in the bed, on the beach, wherever. I could never do this. No, it's not too safe.
Yeah.
But it's good for you.
Yeah,
you
you
have
have to get-
experiences.
Yes, you have to have a good feeling with that. Like in that airport, there was a lot of security. So as a woman, I can also recommend sleeping at that airport. And the reason why I liked it so much is what that airport was called the Frédéric Chopin Airport, which is like a famous pianist. So that very, very cool piano over there.
Mhm.
So I basically spent the whole 3 days like either playing the piano or listening to other people like playing the
That's
piano.
so cool.
And this was like the most random experience I have in these 3 days, but it was also one of the most positive memories I ever had in my life.
Wow.
Just listening there, just being committed, to the music, and like every half an hour there was like this voice coming through the airport to not let your baggage unattended, and I was so long there that I could time it on a second, and before she said it, she was always like there were always like three notes playing, and and I looked them up on the piano, and every time it was like I was like sitting there like, when is it happening? When is it happening?
No way.
And then it happened, and I played the 3 notes, and then
She started talking.
then she said it all, and I made some nice, beautiful background piano music, and then it ended with the 3 tones again. That was like my whole thing for the 3 days, just timing them and working on this song, on the melody, and other
Wow.
people were enjoying it as well.
I would never expect anything like this. But it's a great memory. It's a great memory.
Yeah, and I really thought that the situation was really, really bad for that moment, but I really tried to make something with that,
yes.
and it's really, this is why I had to tell, because it was, if I tell I've been stuck at the airport, most people are like,
Mm-hmm.
But for me it was so nice. I had so many. Also, it was so nice, like meeting all the staff, talking to them, and I met like this girl who was working at Subway, but had like was working to become a doctor, and
Mm-hmm.
I had such cool conversations with her, and I was so grateful, just learning to stay at a place and not wanting to be somewhere else. I think this is the thing I mostly enjoy, just learning to make something beautiful with that which you have right now.
I'm so glad that you said that. Not everything goes that way as you expect, and you have to. It's just your choice how you're gonna act, how you're gonna react on this situation, and if you're gonna be depressed or annoyed by something, or you just switch and start and try at least focus on the positive things and trying to focus and find the positive thing on the things but not which are not that positive. I think this is the most important thing when you're not just traveling in general, like in the life. You have to, not you have to. It's just up to you how you're gonna act, how you're gonna um, deal with this situation, which are not that beautiful always.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you. Thank you for asking all these very important questions.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really hope that people are able to take something from that, and also that everybody just finds a way to find more of that interest of that which he really wants to do. This is what I really wish to everyone.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too. Okay. That's everything. Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's it for this episode of Positive Chaos with Nico. I hope you enjoyed Nico's stories and his travel tips. Whether you are planning your first solo trip or you are just here for a wild adventures, there's always something to take away. Thank you for joining us. If you like this episode, don't forget to share it with a friend. Keep an eye out because there is so much more chaos and positivity coming your way. See you next time on Positive Chaos. Until then, keep exploring and embracing the unexpected. And thank you.